Look, let me be perfectly clear here. I am a very tolerant mayor. I just wanted you to know that, right from the start. And it's true. But then again, I am a DJ, so, it kinda comes with the territory. You gotta be prepared to deal with all kinds of bullshit. I mean, I go up there night after night, blast some awesome tunes, spread the wubbage throughout the club, and make sure every pony has an amazing time. And for the most part, every pony does. But for every fan, you gotta deal with a hater. And my haters just love to make sure that they tell me every single aspect of every single reason why they think I'm absolute scum. All because they don't like dubstep. I mean, geez, it's not like I forced them to listen to it. My mom says that us scratch women are made of tough stuff. Lucky for me, huh? My marefriend, Octavia, she always asks me how I put up with it. And the truth is, as I said, I'm a very, very, very tolerant mare. It takes a lot to get under my skin. In fact, the last time she asked me, the very words I replied to her were, "Octi, I ain't one to let anything just piss me off." Famous last words. So, let me paint the picture for you. It's Tuesday evening, and I get a call from the manager at Club Zero, one of my regular spots, asking me to do a last-minute set. Now, I was gonna say no, 'cause Tuesday night crowds aren't exactly my scene. But then Octi decided that I should, seeing as we didn't have plans for the night. I'm not one for all the smoochy-woochy romantic stuff, but I was happy enough cuddled up with her on the couch, and I was about to say no. But she insisted. I don't know how she does it, but I can't seem to ever say no to her. I swear to Luna that fancy Dappleshire boarding school that she went to as a filly, it must have taught her some kind of mind control power. I mean, seriously, how else would an earth pony have magical power over a unicorn in a relationship? I gotta look into that at some point. Maybe there's a book in the library that I can find about earth pony magic? Oh, jeez. I know I'm getting desperate. But back to the scene. We decided to make it a night out, seeing as we had a few hours to kill before I needed to perform. So we headed out. And luckily Tuesday nights are quiet, so we barely had to queue to get in anywhere. So the night started off all right. We went from club to club, getting steadily more and more wasted as we went. Now, don't let Octi fool you by how she looks, 'cause when she hits the town, she really knows how to party. And she holds her drinks surprisingly well. But by the time we arrived at Club Zero for my set, we were pretty messed up. Well, one of us was. I'm still a decent DJ when I've had something to drink, but it all depends on the day. Weekday sets, which I rarely do, have small crowds of some of the most dedicated ravers who will go out, get wasted, and dance for anything and everything that's played for them. In these cases, I can afford to drink a bit, but I gotta be able to actually perform decently on the turntables. Otherwise, I'll lose a client. Weekends are where the real parties are, and I go up sober. I can get wasted afterwards, but keeping the party going? That's my main concern. So, we turn up for my set, and Octi barely knows what date it is. But I get us both a scotch from the bar. Just one more for luck, I know my limits. We toast to an about-to-be awesome set, and I head to the decks. And the last thing I hear from her is her loudly demanding another scotch from the stallion at the bar, after which her voice is drowned out by the music. She'll be okay, I tell myself. Once again, famous last words. So now we arrive at the present. The set went Well, let's just say that it didn't go at all like I hoped, and we'll end the discussion there. At this point, it's just past 2 in the morning, and I'm walking home, very tipsy myself, but sober enough to carry my marefriend home. Yeah, that's right. Carry. I'm a tolerant mare, but right now, I'm drunk, tired, frustrated, and carrying my marefriend on my back, and I'm very pissed off.
Where are we going, Vinyl?
Octavia asked me as I staggered towards the door, her singing the word going for no apparent reason. Home, Octy.
You fucking what? Come on, I still want a party.
You've had way too much to drink already. You know in those films where they jump cut to the drunk person sat at the bar surrounded by hundreds of empty glasses? Well, that's what just happened. Well, not exactly hundreds of glasses, but during my set, Octavia had downed 7 scotches, and now she's sprawled out on my back, and I'm trying hard not to breathe through my nose, for one simple reason. Her breath stinks.
I know my limits,
she yelled out, slurring each word brutally. Yeah, you do know your limits, I said finally, when we're out of earshot of every pony who's standing outside the club smoking. Problem is, you don't know when you've overstepped them.
Oh yeah? Let's ask this mare if she thinks the same. Hey, miss? Miss?
That's not a miss, Octy.
Then what? What is it?
It's a garbage can. She explodes with laughter as I round the corner off Melody Boulevard. Home is just about a 5-minute walk from the club, but that's without a full-grown mare on my back. At this point, I'm still kind of drunk myself, and the muscles in my leg are beginning to burn like Tartarus.
we should totally get a dog. I know.
Here is further proof as to how wasted she actually is. She's allergic to dogs, but for whatever reason, I decided to humor her. Should we? Big mistake.
Yeah, we totally fucking should. And we can name it Syndrome.
Now, I gotta admit, she had me confused here. Even with hindsight, there was no way I could have guessed what was coming. Just to hear her swearing is unusual. The first time we ever got wasted together, hearing her swear in that stuck-up Trottingham accent had me collapsing with laughter on the floor. I thought there was nothing that could top that. But she has this weird habit of always surprising me.
So if it... Wait, what was we gonna call it?
Trunks. Okay, I'm a hypocrite. Sue me. Syndrome. I reply, my back starting to ache under her weight.
Oh, right, yeah.
If you're easily offended, feel free to cover your ears for this part. I wish I had, but my hooves were occupied at the moment.
So if it jumps up, we can shout down Syndrome, and it'll be okay.
My eyes widen in shock, and I quickly look around to see if there's any pony nearby who may have heard her. And luckily, there wasn't. Granted, Octavia becomes a completely different pony when she drinks, but I never had her pegged for an extremely offensive joke type. And granted, in any other situation, I probably would have been laughing along with her. But at this point, her gruff laughter was suddenly replaced by a retching noise and a warm but wet feeling running down my back. What a fun night this had turned out to be. This really is a fun night. Yep, yeah. Nice, real nice, Octy, I replied as I spotted the sign pointing out our street, with a lot of relief, I gotta be honest. My nose wrinkles up as I try to ignore the smell of her vomit, which was now trickling down the side of my chest and slowly dripping onto the ground. About as mature as a prepubescent cult.
I used to be one, you know?
Huh? Be a what?
A cult.
I gave a small chuckle. She definitely had too much to drink.
No, seriously.
She insisted.
I had a sex change when I was 7.
The smirk on my face disappears. She can't be serious, can she? She's gotta be joking. She literally just told me one of the most offensive jokes I've heard in a long time. She's probably just playing another. But I poked a little deeper. Why's that then? She thinks for a while.
I guess I wasn't ever happy being a boy. Even when I was young. I always preferred playing with dolls and stuff, and I hated hoofball and all that boyish stuff I was supposed to like.
She sounds serious. She's drunk, yeah, but she does sound like she's telling the truth. I know her. She literally can't tell a convincing lie. Not even if the fate of all Equestria depends on it.
So, my parents agreed to let me have an operation to become a filly. And then they sent me to an all-girls boarding school in Dappleshire. They wanted to stay in our old family home, but they were kind of secretive about the whole thing.
She drifted off towards the end of that, and by the time I spotted our house, she's snoring away peacefully, without a care in the world. So, at this point, I'm still kind of in shock. Of course, every instinct in my body is telling me to laugh it off as a joke, pretend she never said that. I did still kind of hope she was joking too. In the state she was in, she'd never remember telling me about that. But as I approach our front door and step through into our living room, I just couldn't shake that feeling that this wasn't something I could ignore. If she was being serious and telling the truth, then there's no way I could forget about that. Not with her. I care about her way too much. I love her. I love her. I lower her gently onto the couch and make sure she's laid out in a comfortable position. There'd be hell to pay in the morning for all those scotches, but for now, I figured she could be as snug as possible. After a quick 10-second shower, just to get all the vomit off of my back, I wrapped myself up in a towel and went upstairs into our bedroom to get the duvet from our bed and to tuck her in. I stopped, remembering something. The photo album of when she was younger was right on the bookshelf. I had my doubts, of course, that she was telling the truth, but I figured if there was any way of getting a definite answer, it would be in those pages. So, I folded up the duvet, put the album on top, and carried the bundle downstairs. Octi had barely budged from her spot when I got back, so I draped the duvet over her, tucking her in to keep her nice and warm. I moved in to adjust her head position, but she chose that exact moment to let out a small belch, and I ended up with a face full of her rancid breath. I didn't throw up, I promise, but I came pretty damn close. It took me a little while to recover from that. I've seen my share of gross shit. Believe me, I did my share of crazy in college, but this was just something else entirely. Once I did shake the feeling of queasiness, I ignited my horn and lit the fireplace in the corner, illuminating the room in a soft orange glow. Being a unicorn has its advantages from time to time. Octavia didn't seem to like the light shining in her face, so she rolled over and faced away from it. As she did, my eyes turned to the photo album. I levitated it and walked over to my chair, and as I settled down into the deep plush cushion, I placed the album on my lap. And for a few minutes, I just stare at the cover. We've had this thing in our house for ages. Sure, we only became an official couple a few months ago, but come August, we'll have been sharing a house for 6 years. And for all of that time, I've never given this thing a second thought. Sure, she's brought it out plenty of times, and I know what she looked like when she was younger, but then it hits me. I almost couldn't believe it. But I immediately opened the book. The baby photos lasted for several pages, each one with a small note attached, written in neat hoof writing. I looked closely at each one, and they're smudges. Really faded smudges, ones that are hard to spot if you're not looking for them, right where her name was. As if an old name had been rubbed out and a new one written above. This goes for all the baby photos, and in each and every one of them, she's wearing a diaper. No nude photos at all. Alright, I know that sounds kind of weird, but in every baby album I've ever been shown, there's always at least one bath time photo. That's what we'll call it. It's like some crazy unwritten rule about being a parent, to have some embarrassing baby photos. When I was in college, I had a string of stallions I dated, and of course, there were summer breaks when I would go and visit their respective family houses. Their mothers always got out the albums, and there were always bath time photos. Every time. Damn it, even my mom does it. Me and Octi went to my parents' place when we got together, and guess what? Out came the baby photos. And guess what again? Bath time. It's like every parent actively tries to embarrass their child. It's one part of parenthood that I've never understood. So, why aren't Octavia's pictures the same? She's adorable, but as well as looking cute for a baby, she also looks gender neutral. Just looking at her, I can't tell if she's a boy or a girl. Then I turn the page. And there she is, 7 years old, getting on the train to head off to boarding school. No photos in between this one and the ones of her when she was just a few days old. I leaned back in my chair, not entirely sure what to think or how to feel. I mean, the evidence is right there in front of me. The photos are sorted chronologically, so there's no chance of progressing further into the album to find missing photos. Should I feel betrayed that she never told me? I don't think so. In fact, I can't say I blame her. I mean, I can kinda understand why it would be a touchy subject for her. Then I kinda start to feel guilty. How did I never notice this before? 6 years. Nearly 6 years we've lived in this house, and I've only now noticed this huge gap in her childhood photos. She got that album out plenty of times, so it's not like there weren't any chances to notice. But then it hits me, like it really starts to hit me. I feel scared, very scared. I do love her. I love her so much. And I thought she felt the same about me. So why did she never tell me about this before? Maybe she doesn't love me as much as she says she does. I mean, why else wouldn't she tell me? Maybe she's scared. Scared of what I might think. Scared that I might not love her anymore if she told me the truth about her past. But that's ridiculous. She knows how much she means to me. When I'm with her, I get this warm tingle that I've never felt with any pony else. When I really started to explore my sexuality, I just found a new happiness I'd never felt until I was with her. She must know that, right? Okay. Maybe I've been a bit shy about my preferences when it's me and her around other ponies. Yeah, I said that we've only been an official couple for about 6 months, but we've been together much longer than that. I always say 6 months, but realistically, I'd say it's closer to about 2 years. Fuck. How can she put up with a marefriend like me? Okay, maybe it just took me a while to openly admit that I'm gay, but she's got much more reason to be afraid than me. The things she's been through. Maybe she thinks I'm ashamed of being her marefriend. That might explain why she shied away from this subject for so long. If she thought that I didn't love her as much as I really do, that might explain quite a lot, actually. Thinking about it. I mean, really stopping to think about it. My mind comes up with a lot of times I've been really shitty to her because I've been more concerned with my public image. When I actually came out, I got a lot of support from fans, and Octi seemed to be relieved. At the time, I thought she was happy because she could openly say that we were a couple. But thinking more realistically, she was probably just happy because I wouldn't have to pretend anymore that she didn't mean as much to me as she really does. She belched loudly again, snapping me out of my train of thought. I look over at her, curled up in the duvet, smelling of booze and vomit, and likely having the mother of all hangovers when she wakes up in the morning. And I realize that I don't care about any of that. I've been a terrible marefriend up to this point, when she's been nothing but supportive of me. I stand up and walk over to her, giving her a long and tender kiss on the cheek. She gives what sounds like a contented groan, and other than that, she barely stirs. Tonight's given me a lot to think about. Earlier, I was mad at her that I had to carry her home. But now, I'm just glad that she's a part of my life. She's put up with so much crap from me, and it ends now. She means the absolute world to me, and it's about damn time I started to show it. Sure, her past is troubled, and I'll have to talk to her about it sometime in the future, but that's another story. I love her, and even if it takes the rest of my life, I'm going to make sure that she knows it.